All right, we are live. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the world, of the internet, classic WoW fans all over the damn place. Welcome back to Good Morning Azeroth. This time, episode 30. The date today is October 8th, 2019. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a gamer. I'm joined by the lads once again. The Snapple wielding Defcamp.
That's right, baby.
We got the real paladin, the IRL paladin Dunedain, and we got the shapeshifter.
Hey.
We got the shapeshifter Grays. How's everyone doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, baby. It's another beautiful day in the world of Azeroth, baby. I'm doing absolutely golden, baby. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a while since I was on GMA. Missed it. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
It's one of the highlights of my week, man. I miss it, dude. I'm glad we're doing these still.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 30
It's
of them,
crazy
guys.
that we
30
have
episodes.
30.
Yep.
Yeah.
30 episodes. Whew. You know,
We started
remember
almost a
episode
year
1.
ago,
has
right?
it been that long?
Almost, I think. I think we started around November, something like that.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy, dude. That is crazy. How's the family doing? Everybody out in the world, let us know how you're doing in the chat. We want to do a little more engagement this time around. Be talking with you. It's an interactive stream. Hopefully, is everybody having fun? Everybody staying relatively healthy, playing the game, living life. You know, it's
Jeez, yeah,
it's a
Kargoz,
struggle.
I
You
don't
know,
know
the
about
balance.
you.
Dude.
I don't know about you or anybody else. I literally put on 20 pounds since the game came out.
It's that ice cream, Grays. It's
No
all that
doubt.
ice cream,
It's
man.
ice cream, frozen pizzas, fast food, and 16 hours of WoW a
No
day.
doubt. It's power gaming, Dad. Yeah, we gotta motivate each other. We gotta start lifting again, you know, for sure. But you know, things are starting to stabilize a little bit, right? I'm not gonna lie, my PT score went
Yeah,
down a little
that's
bit,
true.
but it's
Let me
No.
ask you guys something before we get into the blessing and everything like that. But do you guys feel like you, because I know a lot of you guys burnt yourself out, do you guys feel like you're starting to get into a nice steady flow now?
steady flow. No, I'm still power gaming for the most part, dude. I'm working on the third 60 right now.
Oh
So-
my god.
Yeah, we're trying to get there.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty steady up to this point. You know, I did kind of hit a block, and I think this is a good point to talk about and for everybody else to be mindful of. But like, you know, WoW's a game. If you don't have an objective, if you don't have something to complete, something you're actively working towards, you know, it can become lackluster. And I think a lot of people have run into that. And I've seen people rise and fall. I've seen people quit the game already and continue to just thrive in this community. And I think the number one thing for me and a lot of other people that I've seen is getting involved in raiding and getting involved in community and making friends. And that's what's kept me around for the long run, more than just the content. And I think
Well,
that's
yeah.
a testament to
What
why
a positive
play Classic
spirit,
in the
dude.
first
It has been
place, right?
so fun playing with particularly you, Grays. I gotta say, bro. We've been kicking it a lot in game, right? We've been playing a lot. We've been
Yeah.
chilling. The community that we've been building has been. It's been a riot, man. It's been really good. Made a lot of friends. We're gonna meet a lot of these
Hell
people
yeah.
in real life and cross that line at BlizzCon. So,
Oh yeah.
yep, be my first BlizzCon. It'll be a lot of people's
Same
first
here.
BlizzCon.
Same.
We're all gonna be chilling in the flesh real soon. I'm very excited for that. So, Graysfordays. A couple people are flying over to my crib for a few days, and we're gonna take a sprinter van. We're gonna drive down Highway 1 down to South California. I live up in the Bay Area, and it's gonna be live, man. It's
I
gonna
can't
be live.
wait. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good
I
time.
wish you could be there with us, Dunedain.
Yeah,
No.
same.
And
Thanks,
maybe one
Dude.
day in the future. But I got
Who knows?
something for you, Dunedain. I got a little blessing for you if you guys are ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
you guys
yes,
ready?
of course. So Defcamp is going to bless us with what is it? Prayer of shadow protection. In the spirit of Dire Maul.
Yeah,
We're going to need that prayer of shadow protection, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare your eardrums. Prepare for some peaks.
Here we go, baby. Let's go. Good morning, Azeroth. Let's get some, baby. Yes, Dire Maul coming out. You boys ready? Here we go. That's right.
Hell yeah, dude. Makes my
Hell
day.
yeah, dude.
Oh, and look at that King Smith with the $50 dono.
Dude, is that chicken? Is that chicken basket though? Is that Big Keith? Is that BDK coming down?
BlizzCon. Let's do.
Yo, thanks very much for the 50, dude. That's very kind of you, bro. And also another Twitch Prime subscriber, Jordan JJ. Really appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support, guys, throughout the months and years at this point. Can't believe it. I cannot believe it's happening, man. So there's a lot going on, guys. There's a lot going on. There's been a lot of news. you know, we're gonna be
Maybe-
talking about it today. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, I want to know, where are you guys? Especially Grace, what level are you? How many level 60s do you have?
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
many, yeah.
Well, and myself, you know, I got 160, and I'm trying to pump a second 60 at Mage before Dire Maul comes out. That's kind of my situation.
Oof.
I think a lot of streamers, a lot of us that have been playing, that have been raiding, I think we all have 160. But what
Do we?
about everybody else?
Do we?
Maybe not. Maybe Dunedain.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's a
Kargoz
good thing to
got
bring out to the
two.
community.
Bro, week 1 I had a Warlock 60. Week 2 I had a Mage 60. Dude. This has been a new level of no life for me. I have to say.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Working on the third on a second level 60 Mage for Dire Maul when it comes out. I have that Lasher farm in mind. We'll be talking about stuff like that today. But yeah, it's been going good. By the way, in my true basic bitch fashion, I gotta be dual wielding pumpkin spices.
Oh,
Pumpkin
shit.
spice, sweater weather.
Pumpkin
It's
spice,
October.
yeah.
Halloween's coming. I'm still very much a child at heart. I'm a
Yeah.
man child. I love the holiday season, all the festivities. You know,
I'm loving the weather, bro. I'm loving this weather.
the
Yeah.
leaves are changing, right? It's getting a little bit cooler. You know, you get a little more introspective, and I can't wait for kids in the future. I know not to be weird, but you know, to have the holiday season with kids and stuff, it's gonna be fun, man. So,
Yeah.
gotta dual wield the pumpkin spice, dude. Gotta dual wield.
I'll stick with my Snapple, baby.
Yo,
Pop that open now.
So yeah, actually, like I said, I'm only level 50 now, but I'm going slow but steadily. Been going at the same pace from launch till now, so I didn't really have that no life phase. I think maybe I slowed down a little bit, but yeah, I'm just doing stuff like I did it on private servers and back in the day, just doing it my pace, and it's quite fun. And I think actually I'm in the majority peak. Is that how you say it? I think most people are around my level because everywhere I go, every quest map is dead all the time. It's also easy to find groups, so that's something good.
That's good.
But it's really hard to level solo right now at my level. It's just so hard to find alive quest maps, and that's
are you just going deep red?
kind of annoying. I'm going deep red, yes.
Red, okay.
That's not because it's the best thing, but it's because I enjoy it like that. But I was planning to go protection soon with some holy, so I can both heal and tank in dungeons. Might be easier to find groups, even though I usually run with all guild members.
Let's do a quick posture check with the chat, guys. Well, what level are you? Level and class. If you already have a 60, type like 60 mage, 37 warrior. Let's try and get a sense of where everybody's at. If you could be so kind as to help us out here. So Dunedain, is you just doing 50? You said like you're in the 50s.
Yeah,
now,
yesterday,
starting
exactly.
getting up into
Yeah.
BRD. Started hitting some of that end game.
Almost. Papa Moon is pushing me, so
Whoa, oh,
he
jeez.
wants me to be 60 ASAP to raid with him. I think he's going to help me through BRD and stuff.
Well, we got a big mix here, guys.
Yeah.
60, 60, 54, 45, 32, 25. A lot of 60s. Yeah.
Looks like about 25% of the chat.
Yeah, it's a good mix. Yeah, it's a good mix for sure. It's definitely a bunch of 60s in here.
Wow, 60 warrior and a 60 mage.
428 to 34s. Oh man, he's an altaholic.
Alcoholic spotted. Are you an alcoholic, Grace?
I've got 160.
Am
my
I an
Grace,
altaholic? Yeah.
I don't know.
And I've got a level 8 shaman.
I was an altaholic
Level
back
8.
in the day.
Level
I
8.
never capped out. You know, I just kept re-rolling and restarting, but haven't fallen into the altaholicism.
Yeah, not yet, right? I mean, but Grace is a twinker. We were talking about this yesterday, dude. This man likes to twink. And his twink is probably the most geared twink I've ever seen, like, given the context of the time. Grace, give us the rundown. What is your 1910 twink class? And give us some of the juicy armor deets, man, real quick, so people can understand how no life this guy goes for his twink. This man would rather pimp out his twink than get his epic mount. Let me put it that way. No epic mount, but his twink is geared to shit.
It's true, man. No, and it's what I was talking about earlier. You gotta have objectives. You gotta have something that you're working towards in the game, man. And
I agree, brother.
and so for me right now, you know, I hit 60. I'm in a raid group. We're doing our thing. You know, and there's a couple of reasons I chose to do a twink this early. Like, I don't want to do gold farming. I'm a druid. I'm tanking. But yeah, lately I went ahead and worked on my 19 twink. You know, I hit up the Arena Grandmaster. We have layering. I've been trying to, you know, get as many trinkets as I possibly can. I got screwed the other day.
You
but
just
I'm there
passed over that
nearly
one
every
real
3
quick.
hours.
He has the full Arena Grandmaster trinket
Mm.
on
yeah,
his
yeah,
twink.
yeah.
And
Damn.
Frillbog OP medicine pouch on a level 19.
Wow.
Don't get me started.
This man has
Yeah.
dedication, man.
Yeah, so we got the Furbolg medicine pouch. You got to get honored. You know, you can do some crazy stuff with that. But I literally got 3 leggings of the Fangs for different legging enchants. I got 2 Black and Defiance armors for different enchants. I got 2 Sentry cloaks for the dodge and the other enchant. Like, dude, I'm gonna have a stam set. I'm gonna have an agility set. I'm gonna have a hybrid
Oh
set.
my god.
All for his
Engineering.
twink, dude. This dude is
all
high
for my
speed
twink.
twink.
Yo.
And so the Furbolg medicine pouch, and I won't get too much into it, but level 19 in
Yeah, how'd you
classic,
do
official
that?
classic. So you just have to be honored, and you can buy it from the
Right.
Furbolg, right? But it's too high of an item level. I can't use it as a level 19, so I can't restore 1,000 health over 10 seconds,
Yikes.
which is a huge bummer. But I found like a silver lining in the whole situation. If I'm ever the flag carrier and I'm just running from point A to point B, it's got plus 10 stand, and I'm not trying to kill somebody. So other than that, it was a big F. If anybody's trying to make a twink, specifically the Furbolg medicine pouch
Damn.
doesn't work till like
Mm.
39,
You
I
hate to
think,
see
or
that.
49, Brian.
With that
Yeah.
said, though, the Furbolg medicine pouch, I think every class in the game can equip an offhand, correct? Is there any
Mhm.
class that can't equip an offhand? I don't think so. I think everybody can equip an offhand.
Yeah.
Get a Furbolg medicine pouch. Get the Honored with the Timber Maw. That thing slaps, ladies and gentlemen. 1k healing, and it ticks over time, so at very worst, you can use the effect and then swap it out to whatever you damn please. Very, very strong
So
item in
good.
PvP. I
Yeah.
use it in the default state. Either that or
I
spell
saw you in
stone.
the duel tournament with it, dude, and that was the duel tournament went really good, by the way. I don't know if you guys went to that, but
Oh,
yeah.
You
I
participated
had a
in that?
lot of fun, dude. I got in the semifinals, man.
oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Kargoz and I lost to we lost to the same dude, man. The guy was tough, but
Defcamp,
Yeah, we had a lot of fun,
Defcamp
bro.
is very jolly and jovial and just energetic and stuff. People sleep on Defcamp's a fucking dueler, dude. Defcamp slaps, dude. He's a PvPer. Like, he gets into the mode, man. I don't know if you guys have seen him in action, but you know, hopefully
yeah,
soon. you'll
pulled
see
out
him.
the mana burns, bro. People were like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
Yo?
And I love how Defcamp loves yoinking people's mana. That's one of my great
Oh, I love
joys
it,
as well.
baby.
Viper Sting was
Love
my favorite ability on Hunter. And I really like my Imp mana drain right now with the 3-piece Felheart bonus on my Warlock.
So good, dude.
Yep. So yeah,
Like, you are so beefy though. But I just want to say, I thought Gray's, I thought I was going hard because I'm doing something right now that's kind of a little ridiculous as well. I've had enough money for a couple weeks now to get my epic mount, but I said fuck it. I've had that undead horse so long, and I love the undead horses, right? I love it, but this time around, I want a fucking raptor, right? So I am
Shut up.
about 4 bars to exalted for Dark Spirit Trolls.
dude,
Yeah.
my
About
man.
4 bars to go. Anyone want to send Defcamp some rune cloth? COD me 1 gold. Stack of 20. Got you.
The plug.
Okay. But listen. I am so close to having that raptor, dude, and I cannot wait to be the first time I ever had a different race's mount in classic.
And the
So I'm
Raptor
so
looks
excited.
sick in this game. What's your favorite
Dude,
color Raptor, bro?
Orange.
Oh my,
I-
Defcamp, this is how you know
Yo.
we're brothers, dude. I love the
Oh.
orange Raptor, dude. It's got the blue
So
eyes on
good.
it.
Yes.
It looks-
Yes.
The
dude.
orange Raptor looks tight, bro. I can't wait to wear in the rank 10 Black War Raptor on my
Oh, I
Soul
know,
Link Orb
dude,
Warlock.
so good
That's
too,
final
bro.
form right there.
Yeah.
I love the Raptor so much, man.
So
for
yeah, I'm
sure.
almost there, bro. Almost there.
Yo, that was one of the first things that hooked me into WoW. When I first saw my family friend Simus, he was riding around on a Raptor, and he was already level 40 or might even been 60. I don't even know back in the day. When I first saw my very first taste of WoW, I just thought he looked so cool riding around on this Raptor, man. But
Hell yeah, Pogren.
yeah. So the duel tournament he's talking about, we're gonna start doing that every Friday on the Scarum server. All right. So even if you're not on Scarum, you can still watch it and tune in. It should be a lot of fun. It's kind of casual, kind of off the cuff, impromptu, but small little gold prize pool. But it's a lot of fun. We got some good matches in there. Defunct took it last week, and we're doing it again this week. So if you play on Scarum, it's open to everybody, open invitational. Anybody can join. Just hit me up, DM me. Or if you want to watch the last one, if you just want to do some cleaning around the house, you got a couple hours to spare, you can watch the VOD of the last one on my channel right now.
Yeah.
So that's coming up again this week as well. We got a lot more interest. It should be a lot of fun. All
A
right.
lot of fun.
Let's move into some of the news of the game. So in true
Ooh, we got
form,
some big.
we got some
Yeah.
slides
Yeah.
up here, dude. We're back to the slides, man. So state of the
Oh,
game.
nice.
Let's real quick. We can maybe even do a straw poll on it. I think I already read a straw poll on it. We're talking about the state of the game, right? Let's start here. Classics, classic player base. Do you guys think? Question to you guys and also to the chat. There's more players currently after because we're a month or two in, right? Like people were saying, there's gonna be a lot of visitors, a lot of tourists they call them, right? Leaving the game. Do you think at this point in time we still have more people playing Classic than BFA? What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Think so too. If you just look at the server numbers, they are still most of the time full or high at least. I know they are removing layers, but I still think it's a lot more. You can see it on Twitch too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's got to be between all the Twitch streams that are at the top. It's all Classic. There's no way retail's above Classic right now. I mean, not that it matters that much, but Classic's going strong. I did see a Reddit post. You know, it's funny. The retail players like to poke at the Classic players and back and forth. I did see a Reddit post that showed all the retail round populations, and it was like all low. And if anybody's been playing Classic, you haven't been under a rock. Everything's been high and full, and you know, more than medium 24/7. So I think it's safe to say Classic's hanging in there.
That's good news, man. And like, you know, if you think back a couple months before the game came out, I was seriously considering this whole line of reasoning that like there was going to be just this huge amount of tourists who were going to play for the first week and then just drop off because they got their nostalgia fix and just move on to greener pastures. That may have happened, and maybe I didn't notice, but it seems like we're still pretty healthy. Like the game is still going very strong.
It definitely happened, the tourists and the drop-off, and more than I expected, honestly. But I don't know how many people are on the servers now, but it seems like just the queue has gone, and other than that, not much changed. But the queue was really huge, so
Maybe a better benchmark for like the health of the game is what you guys see in the community. Man, what I've seen, Kelfaz, for example, the guy's never played Classic WoW. The dude is literally playing 24/7. He's in our Discord. He's doing Devil Sword farms. He's doing things that I've never done in the game, that I never thought to do. There's new players that are getting just as involved, if not more, than all the old heads. So I think that's a good representation of where Classic is going and how it's hanging there. Like it seems like every interaction I have, it seems like half the people really have never played Classic. They may have played some later version of it, but
I completely agree, dude. We got people in our raid right now that have never set foot in Classic and are loving it. You know, we got Ceres, right? Who, you know, Sarmi's husband. He's literally never played WoW, and he is like loving Classic, and that makes me so happy. Like I've seen so many people who either are completely new to WoW or completely new to Classic that have fallen in love with this game, and that makes me so fucking happy.
It does, man. That's a great point. I love your point about Kelfast too, Grays. Like he's an ESO player, had nothing to do with WoW at all, didn't even play retail at all. Like Classic is his first taste ever of World of Warcraft, period. And people are falling in head over heels for it. You'll love to see it. You love to see it. I've seen a couple people in that boat now, and younger kids too. Like younger kids too. Like, you know, the Zoomers, the Zooms.
Did you notice that people are joining just the last few days too, or the last few weeks? Not everyone I know on the guild or on the server joined from the first week, but actually many people just started out the last few days. I don't know if you noticed it too, or if it's just my friends list. But it seems like many new people keep coming to the game.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but that's a good thing though. That is a very good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder when on one hand you have the drop off, and on the other hand you have new people joining. So
I wonder when we're gonna see 18, 19-year-old streamers. Maybe it's already there. I haven't really been,
there
been
are,
in the loop. There are, because I've been too busy playing.
You're one of the youngest guns in the game right now, though, Grays. You're 22, right? And you're still you're in college and everything. So it's cool, man. It's good to see. Another thing, though, so they've been really dropping down the layers a lot. On Scarum, we're a pretty beefy server, I think. I mean, there's some faction balance, which we'll get into later, but there still is maybe a couple layers, like 2 layers or something like that. There's, so I don't know. I mean, layering is being taken out of the game. Probably going to be taken out of the game in time, like what Blizzard said for Phase 2. They said that they weren't going to roll out Phase 2, right? Until, or was it Yeah, they said phase 2 because world bosses, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
Right.
that's happening. Let's talk about faction balance though. I'm curious, those in the chat. So we play on Skyrim, right? We play on a Skyrim US PvP server, and I'm just talking out of my ass right now, but I think it's probably like 70-30 Horde to Alliance. If I just had to guess, I could be off base, but we definitely do feel the lack of Alliance out in the open world. I'm curious, to those of you guys playing on different servers, is it a different story there? Are any of you guys playing on
Yeah.
servers that have more Alliance than Horde? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm playing on a very balanced server. Mokrane, if I check the census data, is probably the most balanced server on EU right now. So that's we got really lucky there. But we chose a server because we thought it would be more Alliance than Horde. In the beginning, the numbers said it would be like 55 Alliance to 45 Horde, and now it evened out. I think it's slightly more Horde, but it's really like 52, 48, 59, 51, 49, something like that. So it's really a good split. But in the open world, you always feel that Horde outnumbers us. But I guess that's the same the other way around.
Yeah.
I wonder what it is this time around that people are, kind of, in a broader sense, picking Horde over Alliance. People were telling me before that there's retail influence there, that retail it's more skewed towards the Horde.
I think it's racials. I think it's PvP racials. I think it's, at least for me, right? Like, I know a lot of people who played Alliance back in the day, right? So my first character in Classic was Alliance. And ever since then, I wanted to, play Horde. And I think a lot of people also who played Classic or played Vanilla back in the day and played Alliance wanted to try something different, so they're playing Horde now. But I think the biggest part of it, honestly, is probably the PvP racials and Wind Fury, right? I mean, it's fucking amazing.
You know the best PvP racial though?
Yeah,
Paladins,
I know. Don't
bro.
say it. Don't
Paladins,
say escape.
dude.
What?
Paladins.
Oh, okay.
No, dude.
Okay.
Paladins.
I think I was gonna say escape
I
artist.
don't know.
So I was like,
Well, escape artist is very, very strong for sure. I mean, I'm just saying,
It
but
is,
Defcamp, you played on Northdale, you played on some of the other private servers, right?
yeah.
Dude, I'm used to having more Alliance than Horde, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like this is like a change of pace. Like for years and years in the private server scene, I had to digest this nugget where that it's Alliance favored. The game is Alliance favored. The game is Alliance favored. Paladins super high impact, dude, with Kings and Salvation and being able to execute strategies in PvP just more reliably because they have these hard resets and they have these big oh shit buttons, right? And I was kind of feeling like the underdog sometimes is the Horde, man, playing on the private server community, and then we go into real Classic and we're pretty heavily skewed towards the Horde right now. Just throwing it out there.
There must be an influence from retail. That's the only real explanation.
Well, what do you think? What do you think it would be the influence from retail? What do you
Well,
mean?
once DBC hit the shelves, it kind of shifted towards Horde being favored. I think Horde has always been favored except for Vanilla. Is that right in retail?
I
So
think so too,
if
yeah.
people come from retail to Vanilla, they might first look at Horde now instead of Alliance. I don't see another explanation because it was the other way around in private servers. So.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys though, but I feel like the Alliance has a very different feel in Classic than it does in other expansions. Like when I played Classic, Vanilla, actual Vanilla, and the Alliance, I felt like the Alliance was much more
For me, it was
together,
immersive.
much more together, much more like they were. You go into a BG and everyone is like, okay, everyone in the Alliance sticks together. With a Horde, we're like all over the place. You know what I mean? That's how I felt like it was back then, and now it's kind of the opposite.
But people used to say that Alliance were the younger kids and Horde were the older, so
Yeah.
that might be something too.
I also think shamans are trending, dude. People like
They are,
they look at the duel tournament, they look at Sidu slapping people
Fucking
around as
Melderon.
Ellie, they're looking at the big Melderon
Melderon's
guides,
fault.
they're looking at the
Melderon's fault.
Wind Fury proccing multiple times, and they're just like, damn, dude, I want to play a shaman.
Dude, on the same note, paladins are trending too, though. I mean,
Are they?
between
Yeah.
between
I love
us and
that.
dude, are you kidding me? I like it.
No.
It seems like every fifth
No, I
character I
agree
see on the
with you.
server
They are
is
not.
paladin.
Yeah, I
But
think
there are. Oh, we have a donation.
Oh, nice. Oh, thank you so much, Krim. We'll follow with $10. Hey, Kargoz. Here's a little hookup from one guildy to another. Thank you very much, Krim. I appreciate it, bro. Shout out to
Oh.
Invictus and Murderer TV supporting the guild as well, man, with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much, Murder, dude. I appreciate it,
But
brother.
on the subject of paladins, it's the least played class on the Alliance side, I think.
No, more than druids?
Really?
You kidding me, bro?
Hey,
Really?
Kargoz,
Think so.
I don't
here is
know.
A little hookup from
It
one
seems like
guildie
that.
to another.
I should check the census data, but last time I checked, it was really low. I think it was the lowest.
If I played
Maybe
Alliance, I'd play Paladin.
Same-
I
same
feel
here.
like, I mean,
Paladins have been clapping my ass. I envy the Paladins right now.
Dude, I am
Red
terrified of
is-
paladins, bro. You see paladin solo, and I'm like, all right, I can take this guy, no problem. It's
they
gonna
have
take a
3
while.
lives, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, but I can take him. You see a paladin with any other class together, and I'm like, oh, dude,
Oh, dude,
it's
Paladin
over, dude. It's
Hunter
over.
like killed me 7 times the other night just farming runes. Paladin Hunter is like the worst. Like, you know, I get stunned in Hodge for like, I felt like I was in Hodge for like 2 days, dude. I'm like sitting in Hodge for like 2 days. My mana, by the time I'm out of Hodge, my mana is gone from the Hunter, right? And I
Yeah.
just, they're like, what am I supposed to do? You know, like
Nothing.
usually when I 1v1 against a Paladin, I mana burn them, right? I love mana burn Paladins. It's a lot of fun because
I get
Paladins
this.
are like shit without mana. But
Yeah,
yeah, if you have a like a Paladin and a Hunter on you, that's like the worst possible combination right there. Fuck, dude.
I got to
Yeah.
say, it's pretty easy to disengage PvP as a paladin. I'm deep retribution, so I have repentance too. So
Yeah.
usually I just repentance someone who's engaging me, and then I mount and they
So
they run
annoying.
away.
I'm with you, paladin,
Yeah.
dude. I'm like a low-key paladin lover, bro. Like my first 60 back in the day, I was a dwarf paladin. It was my very first 60 before I got woke and went over to the Lord. So
Kargoz.
if we play Alliance someday, like alts on Dunedain server, bro, I'm rolling Pally with you, bro. Fuck it,
That's
dude.
cool.
Pallies are sick, man. Pallies are just so sick.
It's just
Little
like I don't
feat
know.
to get-
I
to get
gotta.
the double.
I do feel like with Melderon a little bit that it does kind of feel like cheap to an extent. You know what I mean?
Cheap.
Like, yes, I will just say like I love Holy. Okay, I do love Holy, right? But the fact that you have a bubble and lay on hands and like you pop that all in like one encounter is just
Yeah.
like, dude, like you know, bubble, lay on hands, like health pot, and it's just like, really, you know, it's just kind of. But at the same time, you catch a paladin outside of those cooldowns, and they're kind of worthless, you know.
Yo, so someone's saying
uh,
Heartseeker is 70-30 Alliance to Horde. The reason why that is a lot of people transferred off Scarab to Heartseeker, and this ties into the point where Blizzard opened up faction transfers, or not faction, sorry, they opened up server transfers on select realms that were overpopulated. And what ended up happening on Scarum, I don't know if it's happened on other servers as well, is because of there was already like maybe a 60-40 imbalance of Horde to Alliance, a lot of Alliance left and made that problem worse. So it's like 70-30 or even worse than that at this moment in time. My question to you guys and to people in the chat is, how would you fix faction imbalance? Does anybody actually have a solution? I've heard very, very limited solutions on how to
I've heard
fix
some
it.
solutions. That basically, you would have to like a forced transfer. People were saying that you force like Alliance or you know onto a server, but I don't like that idea. This is just what I've heard.
But-
You know, I think they should have they should definitely not allow transfers off realms that have that big of a skew, right? So if there's a 70-30 split, you should not allow transfers of the Alliance off that server. Only allow transfers of Horde off that server.
But do you think when BGs enter the game that it will balance a little bit? Because if you're the highest population, you have the long queues, so it's pretty good to be on the lower side.
Oh yeah, it's gonna well, and then you can talk about battle groups too. You know, we were talking about if we're gonna have
Yeah.
long queue. We don't know how that's gonna be implemented. Hopefully, we have a large pool to draw from. But yeah, if it was just based off the server, I feel like we'd be sitting for an hour.
People are saying
without
server
battle.
merges, right? I've heard that before, but why are we in a position right now where it seems like Horde is just being played significantly more? Like you can you can merge a bunch of servers, but you know,
Yeah,
at the end of the
it's
day, if
still
there's
the
just
same
way
problem.
more people playing Horde, like you're gonna have like, you know, you're gonna have to face that. I think there needs to be some passionate, you know, Alliance players putting that sex appeal back into Alliance, going out there and just start clapping the freaking Horde, just going out there with your holy, like, righteous light and just slaying all the orcs left and right who come spurging out of Blackrock Mountain and, like, you
Rise and Rain, dude.
and-
They've been keeping it real on our server.
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, they've been holding it down. I see Brian in here saying Scarum Alliance not going anywhere too soon. Right on, bro. I
Nice,
appreciate
nice.
with the
Yeah.
resolve, but Alliance are cool, dude. They got their own little, you know, swag and I don't know how to get people excited to
How
play
do you get
Alliance.
excited
You know,
over Alliance when you have gnomes? You know
when you
what I
have
mean?
gnomes.
Yeah.
Actually, gnomes really grew on me when I was playing the
God,
stress
here we
test.
go.
I'm serious. I played this game for 14 years. I never played Gnome because I hated it. But I really, since the stress test, the way they walk, the sound they make, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Need more rage.
And it's annoying. Yeah, and it's annoying for enemies. So that's pretty.
yo, think with this gnome death noise, Grizz. I know you're thinking about it.
Oh yeah. Things always.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
someone in chat asked if I would ever play Shokaden. So real quick, yeah, I want to try all the specs, but it's not high on my list.
looking great. I remember that music video you did, bro. Here's the thing too. I mean, if you go back to the original like Tolkien high fantasy, and you think back to Lord of the Rings, like I thought the orcs looked badass too, but at the same time, you know, they had, you know, when you see the elves and the humans holding it down at the castle, and all the orcs are lining up and they're going full zug outside and they look like savages. Like the Alliance in the context looked badass, dude. Alliance,
That's why I originally played Ally.
right?
Yeah.
There, Kargoz. That is my original reason why I played Ally, because of Tolkien, like 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the other day I'm a druid, right? And I was stealthing through Ironforge and Stormwind at like 3 a.m. for no reason, and I'm just looking at how homey the city feels, and that's something they have over the Horde. And for me as a player, that's a big deal to me. I roll Horde, but I feel like there's a lot of, you know, if you want to call it sex appeal to the Alliance.
I've said it a million
Honestly,
times. Yeah,
that's one of the main reasons I always play Alliance. When I have free choice, of course. When my friends don't dictate, I need to go Horde. I really like the main elite of the Alliance.
Yeah.
way more.
They've got
Organized.
They've got us over huge, you know.
Yeah.
Fucking Mud Hut
Organized,
City versus
comfy.
fucking yeah.
That's part of the allure to Alliance as well too. Like I'm almost thinking in terms of StarCraft. Like so you know the Zerg swarm, like they're like these savage like aliens that they just keep multiplying and you can't stop them. And even in Lord of the Rings, you see like they're pulling orcs out of freaking egg yolks in the ground, dude. Like you know like it's just like the orcs are multiplying and you're outnumbered. And then you know that's part of the appeal to Alliance. You're outnumbered by all these savages, you know, and then you have your little platoon, your little company-size element, and you're holding it down for Storm. And you look at Menethil Harbor too. I like the whole Menethil Harbor thing. Like they set up this forward operating base in Menethil Harbor, and they're holding it down. And it's like this super dangerous area that they're barely able to secure.
You mean Theramore?
Oh, Theramore. Oh no, wait. Is it? I think it's Menethil though, right? The
Theramore's
wetlands.
Kalimdor.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Theramore's and Kalimdor, and
either way, a lot of the Alliance areas are like that. Like they set up these outposts, and like you know, you see these civilized looking Stormwind guards out there in this like untamed land. I don't know. Alliance is cool, man. I want to see some people play Alliance, dude.
I mean, like I
Come and join me. It's still someplace.
But the problem is we need Alliance on NA, Dunedain.
Oh,
we
yeah.
need him here, you know.
Just something I noticed in the census data, but that's smoke drain only. I don't know if it's the same on other servers, but there are way more gnomes than there were in retail, and way less night elves.
Everyone was a night elf back in the day, dude. Right? Everyone, Legolas,
right?
So humans is by far the most played, and then we have gnomes actually in second, and then the night
people
elves.
See
and
the value of people back. I feel like back in the day, people more played classes because of how they associated with that class, and now people look at things like, oh, escape artist is amazing, and gnomes are the better mages and the better warlocks. I feel like a lot of people look at that more than they did back in the day. People would look at, oh, I want to play a human because I like aesthetically how it looks, or I want to play night elf because I always wanted to be a fucking elf and shit like that. That's my opinion at least. I feel like people are a lot more familiar with the metas and all that kind of shit, and that gnomes make the best casters, and that dwarves make the best priests. So that's
more like a min-max thing and less.
That's my opinion at least.
I think so.
One thing I'm thinking about now as a quick aside, not to get too derailed here, but like when you think about just the color palette of the Alliance and Horde buffs and abilities, like you see the Paladin row of blessings and auras up on Alliance members, right? And it looks very like clean and sanctified and kind of it's kind of like almost metallic and holy, and then you look at the Horde ones and it looks more feral and sort of like earthy, and they did such a good job of making you of kind of like making you feel like you're like the savages on the Horde side, and making you feel like you're the holy crusaders on the Alliance side. You know what I'm saying?
Much more shamanistic on the Horde, and that's why Melderon always said that the shamans kind of I feel like, and I think a lot of people feel like this as well, but the shamans are kind of like the picture of the horde, and the paladins are kind of like the the picture of the alliance, right? So everything horde really is like to me, shaman just screams everything horde. You have like the abilities and all these different things, and then alliance, you have the paladin in his suit of armor, and that's just like, to me, screams alliance. So
dude, it's such good game design that that paladin did that, and shaman. And if you look at the ratios, when you think about them, so on the horde side, you have what is it? They have Blood Fury. Like, what a savage sounding name! Like, the dude just like goes berserk and like has his all, and can't even be healed because he's going ape shit, right? And then you have the troll berserking. The dude is going berserk like on some voodoo shit, right? And then you have the noble humans, and they're like perception, like they're highly perceptive, like they're very dignified and perceptive. And then you have the gnomes who are like quirky and like innovative, so they can escape out of shit. Like, dude, you put all the pieces together.
War Stomp, like how badass does that sound? Like horde and like fucking War Stomp, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, War Stomp. Anyway, man, I'm getting derailed here, but dude, we should do Alliance Alts at some point, dude. I'm down.
I'm down.
It's already in the works. Yeah. It's already happening.
Listen. I say this a million times, guys, but if you only explored one side of the game, one aspect of the game, that's Horde or Alliance, you owe it to yourself to explore. You are literally missing out on almost half the game by only playing one faction. As much as you love Horde, as much as you love Alliance, at least level someone through and enjoy the quests, enjoy the story, and you don't have to feel like you're betraying your faction. I mean, maybe you will. I don't know, but to me, it's very, very, very enjoyable, and maybe you'll let the horde live and not kill them because you have a little bit more mercy towards them. But I honestly can say, man, I enjoyed when I made that dwarf rogue. That was my only other alliance character that I've ever played since my first one. Leveling through Lochmadon, leveling through Dunmoreau.
So comfy, dude.
Oh my god,
comfy. I can get into both mentalities equally, if I'm being honest, dude. I really could. I could get into both. I could really enjoy my time as a member of the Alliance. Like, they have this comfy zones. The 1 to 30 zones are so comfy. You can get into that mentality of being outnumbered by savages and trying to cleanse the lands and shit. Anyway, fucking Dire Maul coming out October 15th, guys. The date is October 8th right now. That gives us 7 days before Dire Maul comes out.
Jesus.
That is insane. It feels like Blizzard just freaking snuck up on us and just dropped that definitely out of nowhere, dude. How are you guys feeling about the Dire Maul announcement?
You should probably pull a straw poll in chat.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So I want to just go off and say I do feel like it's too soon. Okay. However, selfishly, I fucking love Dire Maul. I was just telling the guys before this, I probably spent more time in Dire Maul than any other place in WoW. Like back on Northdale, every single day I was there farming on my priest, lashers, and DM East, doing jump runs with warriors, doing tribute runs to get gold. Doing DM West for Melderon to get his friggin' trinkets. Like, I love Dire Maul. I love it. I love the gear there. I love everything about it. I love the tribute runs. I love the buffs. I love the PvP outside of there. I love how much money I can make. However, dude, I just started raiding last week. And here's the thing. Navik brought up a good point, and I think this is another good point as well. The gear that's already available is pretty much just as good as the Dire Maul, right? You have things like animated chain necklace already available, designers pantaloons that are already giving the plus healing, all the things like that. So the effect of Dire Maul coming out now is not as big as an effect as we thought it was going to be, because of the gear that's already out and already available. However, it just does feel too soon. It does feel too soon.
So I put a straw poll in the chat right now on both Twitch and YouTube, just asking you guys very simply if you think, is this the right time for Dire Maul to drop and why? And I hear what you're saying, Defcamp. I'm sort of uncertain myself. I haven't really fully thought it through yet. Does anybody feel like it is the right time, or no? Are we all
one thing I really liked about the announcement is it was spontaneous. And if that's going to be like the feel of the rest of like the release content, that's one good thing I could give about it. One thing I really hated about it was the reasoning. I can't find the blue post. It seems like they took away what they initially stated, but they said we're basically putting Dire Maul out on the 15th of October to give players more things to do in the game, and it just it blew my mind. So on one hand, we have layering, and they're handling it super well. They've been really transparent about phasing, and I think they've won a lot of hearts back. Like I think that they've got a lot of respect from a lot of people. That 2-year span of just figuring out how Classic is going to get rolled out. A lot of toes got stepped on, and everything's been good, and it seems like they've been listening to us with layering, but then it just feels like they're appealing to the minority.
Yes,
with this move on Dire Maul. So
Yeah.
it's just frustrating because even though it seems like it's going to trivialize MC content, regardless, dude, 80% of the player base isn't even raiding Molten Core yet.
Yeah.
You think so? 80%? Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
I'd say
maybe
so. I'd say.
I mean, so here's the
80%.
thing, right? I've been going full poop sock since fucking day 0. I was there on D-Day, storming the beaches with you guys, and have played nonstop ever since. Right? I have played nonstop. You guys have seen me on like all day, every day.
Yeah.
I have 5-piece Fellheart and 1-piece like tier 2 head, but I still am not fully kitted out in MC gear, and I've made every raid. I have tried my absolute hardest, and I still don't even feel like kitted out in MC gear. Like I think most people who have been raiding actively maybe have like 3-4 pieces out of MC. Like,
I don't have one piece, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saving my DKP though for iDivinity. So
I'm thinking that maybe it is too soon because people only have people aren't they're not there yet. You know what I'm saying? So even like me, people saying the rushers, they're appealing to the rushers. I rushed. And I still don't even feel ready for Dire Maul. I still don't feel ready for Dire Maul.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So there are a few things I saw in chat with which I disagree a little bit. First thing is more content is better. In this case, it's not really more content because it deletes content from the previous patch. And then someone said Dire Maul was out at launch in EU. Yeah, that's right. But in the old days, no one knew that the best gear was in Dire Maul. People ran any dungeon. People ran Uberus over Dire Maul because they thought that gear was better because the tier set, not the tier set, actually the dungeon tier set dropped there. So that's also a false point in my opinion. People know now that Dire Maul has the best gear and they will skip out on the other dungeons, do min-max stuff, and that's something I really dislike. I'm not level 60 yet. I really wanted to do the other dungeons first. As a paladin, you have to be in Sunken Temple, in BRD, in LBRS, UBRS, Stratholmes, Colomancy. You really have to do them all. And I really looked forward to that. And now they come out and say, well, we have Dire Maul next week. And I didn't do any of those dungeons yet.
You didn't get to experience all the content, yeah. And
exactly. So actually, for me, it's less content now.
Mm-hmm.
If they waited 2 more months, then it would have been more content.
So Joey,
but right now, not.
Joey in the chat has a good piece of feedback, and I've heard this echoed a little bit over the past couple of days. That he says they need to keep the content for creators flowing, and Dire Maul coming early is an effort to keep viewers on Twitch and YouTube. So that might be a partial truth. Like maybe the Blizzard's looking at the data and they're going, "Man, Classic is a big success, right? But we want to keep the snowball rolling, right? Like it's been some drama going on and all types of stuff. So they may just want to keep. This may just be like a tempo play to just keep, even at the cost of stretching the content a little bit, keep that forward momentum rolling. They want to just drop another announcement.
If you keep doing that, we are done in a year. We will have next dramas next year.
The thing is, what if they did this, guys? Like we were talking about this last night. What if they, instead of having the 6 phases that they planned on doing, have like a 1.52, 2.53, 3.54, where there's, instead of splitting this content into these phases, are more splitting them into like half phases and things like that to keep people more interested, to keep people the content, content
pretty cool.
out, so.
What you say is pretty cool, but then they could have done the entire patch progression, which they didn't.
Yeah, they could have done that, right?
So,
They also could. They could. I think so. I think it was Stick who was saying this yesterday, that they could slow down between phase 3 and phase 4. So they could rush this. They could front load a little bit of this progress here, phase 1, phase 1.5, phase 2, to get that snowball cranking. And then slow down once BWL comes out. They slow it down, right? And that's a long ass phase. I don't know. That might be their plan. I'm just talking out loud here. But also, so people are saying that DM Gear is trivializing MC. I was talking to Navik earlier this morning. He was saying that MC is already trivialized. We already have all these really like final form state items. Like we're getting 100%. The end version state of items. We have the end version state of talents, right? Where MC is already going to fall over. So maybe that's not as big of a concern as well. Yeah. Another thing is that people when they look at gear, they tend to look at it in the context of its performance in a min-maxed PvE vacuum, right? And they say like this gear is now trivialized. There's a lot of good gear that has stam on it and stuff that can be used for other purposes too, whether it be farming or PvP. So I don't know the itemization of the gear well enough to say 100% it trivializes a bunch of the gear. And the other thing that I want to throw out there so everyone to chew on is that potentially even the biggest implication of Dire Maul being added to the game at this point in time is the pacing of the economy will be accelerated rapidly. There could be a lot of inflation here into the economy. There could be a huge influx of gold. Gold could get devalued. The economy will change rapidly. People will be living in Dire Maul, farming. There's so many different farms in Dire Maul. This could be the biggest implication of putting in Dire Maul right now.
Let's talk about that real quick, right? So I, for myself, can attest that that is a huge possibility and probably will happen. A lot of it depends on what is going to be available in Dire Maul. So first of all, let's talk about some of the things that will be making people gold. For mages, priests, most classes that can have AoE capability, obviously, shamans can do it, druids can do it.
Paladins can do it too.
Paladins can do it, yep. Pretty much like warriors.
Warlocks can do it too.
Warlocks can do it too. Hunters have an issue, but hunters can do other farms. So here's the thing: is the Dire Maul Lasher farm in Dire Maul, right? So there's about 5 or 6 packs. I can't remember if there's 5 or 6. There's about 5 or 6 packs of Lashers. These Lashers not only drop herbs that you can sell in the auction house, but they drop very, very valuable gray items that sell for a shit ton amount to vendors, right? So there's like, I think 3 of them, 3 different gray items that are that you just basically AoE them down, get them, go into a vendor, and if you're a herbalist, you're gonna make even more money, right? Because there's dream foil, there's sometimes Grom's blood, and there's also sometimes ghost mushrooms you can find in there as well. So just doing those DM Lasher farms, which I'll be doing as a priest, can make you almost 100 gold an hour, right? 100 gold an hour.
And that's a raw gold farm, right? So someone is just saying
raw gold farm.
Farming Dire Maul doesn't increase the amount of gold in the economy, but if you're just making so much gold per hour like that on multiple characters, that's raw gold.
Not to mention, so you're influxing all the there are going to be a lot more herbs going into the auction house. There's the Dire Maul books that you can also get if you're doing the Lasher runs, because they do spawn in multiple places. So I've gotten the Priest book, the Holy Bologna, right? All those really good books. Gotten them multiple times by doing those DM East runs. Also, you have I've plenty of times I've seen like Edge Master's Handguards drop in there, Axe of the Deep Woods drop in there. I think Hand of Ever the Odd dropped in there. So a lot of potential of people getting more epic BOEs, right? Then you have your DM East jump runs, which you can do with 2 people, like a priest or a warrior, which you can make getting a lot of thorium veins. There's always a thorium vein that spawns at the end. And then, of course, you have mages who can farm the first boss in DM North, which they can sell that. You have hunters who can do tribute runs. Then you have, obviously, tribute runs. Then there's the question is there going to be a Black Lotus farm spawn in Dire Maul? If that's the fact, then that's a huge implication.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, are they going to do what private servers did? Are they going to do what was back in original vanilla? Are they going to limit the amount of drops that these mobs do so that people can't make as much?
Are they going to nerf Dire Maul in some capacity? Are you going to be able to do the hunter solo DM North tribute run, man? Like stuff. I'm really curious to see what they do with it, if they do anything at all. Real quick, to bring it back a few steps, people are a little bit confused on Dire Maul, what it is. Some people may have not played on private servers or whatever. Maybe they're a little bit foggy. Dire Maul is an instance in Feralis, right? It's a 3-wing instance found in North Central Feralis. Defcamp loves it. There's lots of ogres in there, big treants. It's kind of like it feels like an elvish ruin or something like that. That's how it feels. And there's lots to do in there. And some of the implications, some of the stuff you can do in there and stuff that will change the game is that there's 2-hour world buffs in there from the guards in there. So there's a 200 AP world buff, a 15 stam world buff, and a 3% spell crit world buff. We talked about the gear a little bit. Rumors of a Black Lotus spawn. There's guaranteed rich thorium. There's a couple of veins in there.
55 water.
Oh yeah, the new water, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the new water in there. Mages and pretty much everybody's gonna love to see that, the new water. The introduction of Paladin and Warlock epic mounts, being able to complete those quest lines. The Doomguard quest for Warlocks too. Class trinkets through the books Defcamp mentioned. New Arcanum / Librams, Arcanum of Focus, Kel Sarar, things like that. These are just some of the effects of putting Dire Maul in. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and in a way it's extra content for paladins and warlocks, of course, because you get the mount and all the new stuff that you talked about. But I took the best in slot list for paladins here. It's just the best in slot list I found on the internet right now. But basically, a few examples. You have the Archivist Cape, which is a back, which is basically best in slot and drops in Stratholme normally. But once Dire Maul comes out, you have what's it called? Something else. What's it called again? Where is it? Back. Hide of the Wild, of course. The epic,
so
which every healer is using.
Exactly.
So what it does effectively is that I don't have to run Stratholme live anymore because it's the only drop I needed there. And same thing happens for the leggings, which dropped in Blackrock Depths, and the trinket. The trinket is the same. The offhand, which also dropped in Blackrock Depths. So Blackrock Depths has a lot of items for me in phase 1, but once Dire Maul drops,
bro,
I have those from Dire Maul, so I don't have to go to BRD
Dunedain
either.
just made the best point. I'm thinking about something. My juices are flowing right now. So people like to take the path of least resistance, right? They want to do most of the time what's the most min-maxed, best thing they can do with their time, most high impact thing, right? Not to say everyone does that, but a lot of people do that, right? So if Dire Maul ends up being, which I think it will be, the best way to farm gold, stuff like Stratholme live runs where you're just like min-maxing the poles and getting righteous orbs and clearing stuff out. I don't know, that still could compare. It could be very competitive with the gold per hour in Dire Maul, but stuff like ZF Graveyard Farm, stuff like Maraudon runs, a lot of these gold farming methods is what I'm saying. People may not do them anymore. So that's essentially content that's going to kind of die potentially.
If you ask me, Dire Maul will have the most lucrative dungeon grind. Like, so, you have, like you said, Lasher Farms. We have a lot of herbs. You have tribute runs, which is a lot of gold. So basically everything that like right now I'm farming Princess, right? To make gold as a priest, and it takes me a little bit longer, right? Because I'm holy right now, and it takes me like 5 minutes to kill Princess, run around in a fucking circle. I will make double the amount of gold in less amount of time than I will be in Dire Maul. Mages will make more money. Hunters can make a ton of money. Rogues are even needed to, for Princess runs to open doors and things like that. So I feel like there's something for almost every class in Dire Maul to do. And if you ask me, I don't think there's any dungeon right now that really compares to Dire Maul for most of those classes, right? I mean, hunters will probably still can farm Mara and make some good money, but can hunters solo tribute runs? Is that if I remember correctly, right? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's how much if you get good drops in that chest. At the end, that's a lot of money right there. Not to mention you get major mana pots and major health pots from there too. The major mana pots right now are obviously going to go for less later, but going for like 3 gold each right now. So yeah, there's just so much potential in Dire Maul for gold making.
I'm interested to see how Dire Maul affects our server economy. I really am. And I'm kind of like, feeling the pressure right now, trying to get a mage ready for level 60, just for gold farming purposes. Like, I've got a level 60 druid right now, and I haven't found my niche. Like, I don't think I like gold farming as it is, naturally, and just, like, running dungeons, in-game content just for gold and not necessarily gear. I haven't really come to love that. But, like, one thing I've really struggled with is just having gold, period, in the game. And I haven't found a gold farm. I dropped mining, I did a couple things, but I'm in a situation where I feel like I need Dire Maul to come out, and I'm going to have a level 60 mage, and that's going to be my only source of income. Does anyone else, if I'm not in that position, if I don't make that mage and I'm not doing Dire Maul farm, I feel like I'm behind the curve, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to buy all the mats that I need whenever I go to raid. I feel like I'm not going to be able to buy all the mats for my professions. Like, is that what's going to happen? Like, is 15-20% of the server base going to own the economy and just pass everybody else up that's leveling right now? Like, is it going to be that big of a deal?
You play a lot, man. I think you're going to be alright.
Yeah,
you play a lot. Right. you put a lot of hours in. You're going to have the gold you need. But yeah, with that said, I have a question for you guys too in the chat. What is the most fun way to make gold? I'm still searching for it. I agree with what you're saying, Grays. Me, going into Maradon solo and killing Princess, Tinkerer, and Rotgrip over and over and over again, and looting the blind weed and mining is so painful for some reason at this point. It was fine for the first week, but now it brings me great pain. I can do like 5 and then I just have to leave. What is the most fun way you have found to farm gold?
Doing enchanting. I like it.
If you get lucky and get the good enchants, yeah.
I don't have a myth, but
here's the thing, right? Anything that you do like over and over like that, it gets a little, monotonous, right? I personally love making gold, like just doing dungeons with friends. If you can make some gold and get lucky and get some good drops, and if no one really needs stuff, like doing BRD, right? You can make some good gold doing BRD. Like no one needs the 7 dwarf chest. You have like 2 blues there. You have maybe some essence of fire or elemental fires. You have maybe some blues to sell. Obviously, it's not the most lucrative thing, but it probably to me is the most fun. So you're kind of trading off, I guess, like a little more fun to do, that. But the more lucrative ones, like Dire Maul, like Princess Farms, they get very monotonous, dude. And I'll be the first one to admit, like, I literally fall asleep at my keyboard doing those fucking things. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of what you give up though when you're farming gold, is you're going to be doing something that's a little, boring and monotonous.
For what it's worth, most fun I ever had farming gold so far. 1, Crater. I love the Crater, dude. We had a couple times in the Crater where I was in there with Thick, with Kel'Thas, and we're just. It feels so nice, dude. Like you're in this really immersive environment in Ungoro Crater. You're finding times on the Devil Swords. You're scouting out through the mist and the fog, trying to find alliance out in there. You always have that kind of suspense as you're trying to skin, and someone else is trying to steal your skin, and you can either let it rot for a few minutes and try and snipe it from them or whatever. You have this savage like the Ungoro Crater is like the hood, man. Ungoro Crater's like the hood, bro. It's like you go there, it's like the hood. Everybody's on some savage shit in the crater, it's this intense PvP, and it keeps you awake, and the time flies, right? And you make all this money off Devil Swords. That was one way. Another fun way was dueling for gold. So I would duel people 100 gold if they win. 100 gold if they win, I'll pay them 100 gold. So it'd keep my blood, it'd keep me really focused. I don't want to lose 100 gold.
That's fun for you because you always win.
As a Soul Link Warlock, you do have the edge, especially in Phase 1. So I made quite a bit of gold there. I made a couple 100 gold that way. But I guess my point is, when it comes to farming gold, getting other people involved, doing it with other people, right? Like, whether, just...
other people.
Remember when we did ZF Graveyard Farm together, Grays? We were in there, maybe that wasn't the greatest gold in the world, but bro, I was way more awake than doing Maraudon.
It was bearable. Yeah, no, and I was gonna say too, gold farming isn't what I thought it was gonna be in vanilla. I've been extremely disappointed. I'm sitting on 100 gold right now. Like I haven't made gold. Like if I play for 6 hours, I owe 5 to 10 gold in repairs, and I didn't make any gold, and I don't know. I haven't found anything that's been fun. So I feel like Dire Maul is gonna be my saving grace. I don't know. A couple people were talking. They were saying. This one guy, I think whoring yourself's the best way to make gold.
Take a night elf female and go to Lionheart.
There you go, man.
Sell yourself as a tank or whatever. Yeah, people have some creative ways, but gold farming isn't what I thought it was gonna be.
Well,
so
I gotta say, I totally agree with you, Kargoz, that farming gold with friends is definitely the most fun way to do it.
Yo,
when you're by yourself, it can really suck.
It can really suck, absolutely, absolutely, and like.
But
sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, I kind of feel the same way a little bit when it comes to leveling and stuff too. Like, I'm actually kind of like the spell cleave meta of leveling. I know people really think it detracts from the open world and the richness of the quest. I get that. I really do. I really do empathize with that point. Thing is, I've done the quests already. Like, I've been through that. I've leveled multiple characters, questing and optimizing the questing routes. I love the spell cleave because you're just chilling and talking shop with your friends for like hours and hours, and the levels are just kind of soaring by, and you're not really even paying attention. I mean, you're laughing, you're joking around, and you're in these dungeons together. That's why I kind of like it as well. And like, you saw the mages, how much gold they made in Strathhome and Strathlive Grays. Like, they started to min-max the pulls and try and pump and use consumables in Strathhome to try and clear it as fast as possible, and doing the packs together, and just making it all pixel perfect. Like that's fun, dude. And they made thousands of gold first couple weeks, man. They're in there. Imagine going in their Defcamp with like 3 mages and a warrior, and you're just super motivated to just clear it efficiently, do it in 15 minutes or something. I don't know.
So I'm just thinking, like, how much of an impact on the economy do you really think Dire Maul is going to have? Because we were just talking about how these other things that we're doing. So if you think about this, right? Herbs, a lot of herbs are going to be, in the auction house now. Like herbalism might not. Honestly, herbalism you're still going to make money, farming Dreamfall, things like this. But the main thing is what people have access to more gold now, right? So people have access to more gold, so things will probably inflate. Most costs will inflate on some things. Do you think though that Dire Maul will have because honestly I don't think it's going to have such a negative effect that I'm thinking that I originally thought, because seeing on the private servers and seeing that, first of all, you have people who have access to more gold now, and that kind of does drive the cost on just everything a little bit, right? Because people are expected to have more gold now. People are expected to be spending a little bit more for things, however small, minute that is. But when you talk about like farming for specific things, whether it's a BOE, whether it's a pattern, over time things become less expensive. Like obviously Crusader enchants are going to become less expensive. Obviously, like all these rare patterns, things like that, are going to be becoming less expensive over time. So the question is, like, is the economy going to be so inflated because of Dire Maul, or is it just because of time, because of things changing over time? I don't think it's just Dire Maul. I don't think you can put the finger and just say Dire Maul is the reason why that all this, we're gonna have all this trouble. I don't know. I just think that's how servers that over time just tend to become like a lot of the things that you've been farming are not as rare as they were before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think I hope there's Black Lotus spawns in there, man, so we can actually afford flasks
and that's the other thing. So if there's Black Lotus spawns on there, yeah, that's going to be a huge cut on Black Lotus cost, right?
Yeah.
It's quite a good question, honestly. Will it affect economy that much? People already have plenty of gold, like you said, and people already try to do the most efficient kind of farming there is. So I think you're right. It might probably not have as big of an impact as many people think it has, which got me thinking. Back in the day, the region I farmed gold in was Tyr's Hand. Did anyone else do that?
Yep. Farm there as well.
Yeah, that was what people thought was the best place to farm gold, and not
for the chest enchant, and for I remember just trying to get like BOE epics and shit, and like blues and shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you see how it evolved, the impact might probably be minor, if that makes sense. So...
And I honestly think the gear issue is going to be kind of minor too, because of just how powerful so much of the gear is already, right? The fact that you can go into BRD as a priest and get like 80% of your best in slot, and that's not going to change, honestly, because of Dire Maul. There is going to be some pieces that you're going to go and get, but for the most part you're still going to get your main hand, your offhand, or your staff from BRD. You're still gonna get your shoulders. You're still gonna get your depending on like what class you are or whatever. But you're still gonna get so much of your hands. You're gonna get your belt, like all these things that you're still getting from certain dungeons. Dire Maul might have 2 or 3 upgrades. You might get certain things that are really nice for some fights, or you might get I know shamans are gonna be really happy to get their mind tap talismans, right? Double mind tap talisman, like that's gonna be huge for them. But for the most part, I don't think it's gonna have as big as implication as it did on private servers, where everything followed the 1.1, 1.2 progression, and then Dire Maul comes out and it's like, whoa, big influx of gear. You know what I mean? It's not gonna have that effect, I don't think.
I disagree a little bit. The gear is probably not that much of a deal in stats. It's only a minor upgrade, but if I can choose to go with the best in slot or the 1% less best in slot, I will probably go with the best in slot and go to Dire Maul and not to Stratholme Live, So in a way, it will affect things a lot. Probably not, it will not make you much more powerful, because the gear is not that much better.
I kind of want to be selfish here for a second. Yeah. By the way, the chat is like a hive mind. There's like people that are way smarter than us in the chat, and we have them all here. We have their attention. We have them focused. Someone's asking, could you guys offer thoughts on what specific items you expect to increase in value as a result of Dire Maul? If you guys have any ideas, Hive Mind, please put that in the chat, man. Like, please, like, what's the play right now? How do we stay ahead of the economy right now? Like, for example, pristine black diamonds, they quintupled in price overnight with Dire Maul announcement. So there is some stuff that's going to go up. Let's get some thoughts. You know, there's the secret club, dude. Very few people.
I got
know.
a really good. Okay, so Hide of the Wild, right? What do you need to
I
make
was
Hide
going
of the
to say
Wild?
that.
You need living essence. Living essence is going to go down in price because right now living essence is but you're going to be getting a shit ton of living essence. But okay, larval acid will go hugely increase in price. So if you can start farming essence of water as well, yes, and rugged leather. But I feel like larval acid is something that's like really cheap right now. That it's going to be insanely expensive come Dire Maul. So that's one thing I think I would definitely recommend holding on to and saving for next week. You know,
if you're a leather worker, make sure you can make that thing.
Larval acid, is that the thing for Heart of the Wild? Or Hide of the Wild, sorry?
Heart of the Wild, yes.
Yeah, Heart of the Wild. Hide of the Wild.
Yeah, Hide of the Wild, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart, actually. That's big brand. So what is that from? Eastern
Playlands, yep.
Dude, that might be the play,
the
dude.
worms.
Larval acid?
Yeah.
That actually might be the play.
You need, 8 of them? I think it was?
8, yeah. You need 12 living essence, 10 essence of water, and 8 larval acids.
Right.
Damn. Stop my secrets, lol. Yeah. Let's see what else people think. Water essences, larval acid, pristine black diamonds, Arcanite bars. You think Arcanite bars are going to go up?
I don't know, man. Arcanite bars have been screwing me lately. I've made way too many of them. One thing I found is like the demand for the transmute is more than the demand for the bars right now. And I guess unless recipes come out where Arcanite bars are needed, I don't know. It hasn't been like a super lucrative farm yet. Like I think you're gonna have to hold on to them a lot longer until everybody starts making Lionheart helms and everything else. Yeah. One thing that's been more profitable in alchemy for me was the transmutes. Fire to earth was super popular. Now maybe earth to living essence. That'll be something to look into if you're an alchemist.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
The Doomguard quest,
the only thing about
you can't complete it though, Vizolti. You need Dire Maul to complete it. Sorry, what were you saying?
So no, the problem with living essences, right, is it drops insane, like a shit ton in DM. So living essence is going to go down in cost because those lasher farms drop living essence like crazy. So as of right now, living essence only drops off certain elementals and shit like that out in the world, and it's a little bit harder to get. Once Dire Maul comes out, living essence will literally be cheap, like pennies on the dollar. So that's one thing to keep. Like living essence are going to be really cheap.
Apparently, they're adding recipes that need Arcanite bars too. These are all things to keep in mind. So one general thing that I was hearing from some of the big brains in our guild who are really good at making gold, they just have thousands upon thousands of gold. I am not one of those people by any means. I am broke at the time. But they were saying that now is the time to invest in items. So because gold is going to get devalued, go to your local auction house and pick up items, right? Because those items will scale and will make you money as all this gold gets injected into the economy. That's just one general thing to keep in mind. So pick your poison, whatever market you know best. Invest in items. But things like guaranteed rich thorium veins in there means more arcane crystals, right? It means more thorium potentially. I don't know whether the thorium is going to go up or down. Herbs are going to go up or down. Did you think herbs are going to be lower in value, Def?
It depends, right? Because you're going to see a lot more Dreamfall. You're going to see a lot more, and like I said, those lashers pretty much can drop like most herbs. The problem is like you do, like you said, you do have a lot more uses for those herbs and things like that. So they might be a little bit more steady. The thing is, like, I remember, so how much is Dreamfall going for right now? I haven't really checked, but I think it's probably like around, 50 silver each or something like that, or is it less?
Something like that. It's been expensive, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's going to be around the same, just because you're going to be seeing more uses for it, but you're also going to be seeing more of them. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. But herb is usually a safe way to make money, honestly, either way, if you're going into DM, just because of how much you can get, and basically the herbs that you can get, like Grom's blood is going to be going for a crap ton still. Ghost mushrooms are still going to be going for a crap ton. The main thing that I will probably, what we all will probably notice is that there will just be. That's the thing is, will there be more people being herbalists, right? Because right now, I think there are less people that are herbalists, and I think more people will be becoming herbs. That might reduce the cost of a lot of those herbs as well, especially if you're doing DM East runs. Like if you're doing DM, like I'm literally going to make sure I am an herbalist before that comes out, so I can make that money. You know
What about
I mean?
these class books? Is there an opportunity on like day 1 through day 3 to sell those for
Oh
like
my
decent
god,
amount?
yes. Okay, so if you get lucky and get one of the really good class books, so some of the class books are shit. Okay, so like for mages, the class book is shit. For priests, the class book is amazing. For hunters, the class book is amazing. If you get lucky and get like, you can get really unlucky. I don't and get like a paladin class book as a friggin' holy, you know what I mean, and sell it for like, 2 gold in the neutral auction house or whatever. But you can get really lucky and get a priest or hunt. I'm pretty sure priest and hunter sell for the most books and get 300 gold for it. Maybe a little more. I mean, how much we see in those first couple days, but no. So here just for an idea, the priest Holy Bologna, right, is the name of Holy Bologna. Yeah, it gives like I think almost 30 something bonus healing plus a good amount of MP5. Amazing healing trinket, right? Absolutely amazing. I could see that going for at least 300 gold. Yeah, the rogue is good too, and the hunter one gives like an insane amount of attack power. And I forget what it exactly gets. So if you get lucky and get those, you will definitely make some money off that. Yeah.
The dream is to get Kelsarar, of course.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Forest Compendium of Dragon Slaying.
Yeah. Druid Trinket is good too. That's right. Druid Trinket is really good. Yeah. Druid Trinket is amazing.
How much do you think Kelsarar will go for the first book?
question.
That's see, well, you need that, and then you need the off Oni, right? The what is it? I forget. But yeah, so that will probably go for more than that. 700 gold is probably like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Has anyone got a Lion's Heart Hem pattern yet on our server?
Not on Alliance, they have it on Alliance, yeah. So the people that have it have been working with the Alliance in some capacity. But anyway, Defcamp, so you know Dire Maul really well, right? So for some of the people out there listening who are interested playing the different classes, could you describe what some of the farms like entail in Dire Maul?
So basically, we'll start off with the DM East farm, right? So most people do this. There's multiple ways to get into Dire Maul East. There's the main entrance, and then there's the south entrance, right? So if you go up the ramp and you go into the main courtyard of Dire Maul, there's an entrance to west, there's an entrance to the north, there's an entrance to east. Before you go into that courtyard, however, if you make a right, you can go in the back entrance of Dire Maul East. Right ahead of you will be a pack of lashers. You kill those lashers. You can carefully jump down there, and there's a pack of lashers basically right there where you jump down. There's a pack of lashers to about 3 or 4 more, but you have to be careful, right? Because there are pats moving everywhere. So there's the tree end pats dudes. There's the big lasher things, if you're what they're called. They're like giant flowers, basically, and you have to basically make your way around that courtyard, and pulling these lasher packs, right? There are spots where the books spawn that you can look and see if there is a book. There are some spots that are going to be really hard to get to, where there might be, some elite mobs that you won't be able to kill by yourself. So you want to check and look for the spots that are on, the ground where you'll be safe. So that's basically Dire Maul East Farm. Now, if you're doing a Dire Maul jump run, you go in from the other entrance, you jump down, open the door, right, and you basically go in all the way to the last boss. You can kill Hydra. What's the name? Hydra spawn. You can kill Hydra spawn if you want. You can kill, depending on what you want to do for the jump runs, right? But you can basically bypass all the way to the last boss, open that door, and it's very easy to kill with even just a priest and a warrior. So the Hydra spawn you can kill, you can go to the last boss, and then you have that thorium vein on your way out as well. Now, as far as DM North, a lot more mages you see doing DM North. There are bug packs in there that drop good gray items. There are also dog packs that drop good gray items. I don't know if mages, they should still be able to solo the first boss in Dire Maul North. So there was like, I don't know if it's a bug or whatever, how the pathing was on Dire Maul North in Northdale, where you could basically kite around the first boss over and over, and you just basically kite him. You know, you go up on this ledge, you know, you kite him, go up on this ledge, kite him, jump down, and he drops the bracers, the spell damage bracers, right? So what a lot of mages do is they go in, they farm all the mobs themselves. So they'll farm the dogs, they'll farm the bugs, and then they'll say, hey, selling first boss DM North for, you know, 30, 40 gold, depending on how much. And it's, I think the drop rate on those bracers are like 50, it's like a really high drop rate for those bracers, right? So right there, mages are making insane amount of money doing that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, a lot of classes can do the DM East, but only I think mages and maybe hunters can do the Dire Maul North. Well, probably not.
Well, hunters can do the tribute run, which you pretty much go to Gord. You
Well,
go to the king, and you can solo him on private servers. They eventually nerfed it. You could still find a weird way to do it, but pretty much King Gordok, like, he has all these guards, right? And if you don't kill the guards, they will give you increased loot, like better loot, right? So you can solo King Gordok by yourself using Feign Death and manipulating shit. You get to him, and you kite him around, and you kill him slowly over time, and you get some sick gold out of a tribute run. So that's one thing you can do. DM North. There's also the Lasher packs that Def was talking about. Pretty much almost all classes with an AoE can do it, right? I'm pretty sure Druids could probably do it too.
Pretty much all classes with AoEs.
Paladins, Warlocks can do it, sacking their Voidwalker.
Yeah.
So that's a raw gold farm there.
See, the thing about Dire Maul North of the tribute run, I don't know if a lot of people know, like, to the guards are not like him, they're bosses throughout the dungeon, right? So you have to bypass these guards, and there's a certain way to bypass them. So, you know, you can basically, like, as a group, we used to bypass with a hunter on the last guy. He would pull Feign Death, we go around the side. So having a rogue is really nice for the door, right? A lot of times, because for the key for the door. If you're hunter, you can have the engineering that opens up the doors. What's it called again? The blasting powder, the doors. You know that you can bust open the doors. That'll help
the
you.
C4 charge, that shit.
C4 charges, yeah. So you can get around doing that. But there also is cool things. You can get an ogre suit to help you get past the guard by doing this quest inside of DM North. So yeah, and even just doing DM North tribute runs with a whole group, you can actually still make a lot of money just doing that. You know, even if you're not a hunter and you're doing it with a group, you can still make a ton of money doing that as well. So even if, you know, you don't know how to do DME farms as an AoE class, as a priest or a mage, whatever, or if you don't know how to do the DM North as a mage by, you know, killing the first boss, you can still make a ton of money just doing regular tribute runs, honestly.
Maybe to elaborate a little bit on the solo farming in East with the Lasher packs. As a priest, you just use
Holy Nova. Right? Yeah. So
what do you do as a druid, for example? Would you go in bear form and swipe and use Thorns, or?
I've never done it as a druid. I don't know.
You could Barkskin Hurricane. I know that druids do that. They put like
Barkskin Hurricane.
Barkskin Hurricane might be enough. I haven't tried it as a druid, but I've seen druids kind of somewhat effectively AoE packs of, like, you know, 5 to 8. They'll throw up moonfires on shit, and then they'll go Barkskin Hurricane, and they'll be able to kill them.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to do it as a warrior too?
Probably a prot warrior with a lot of reflective damage, maybe.
You could also put spikes on this shield. That's what
put
you
spikes.
Do with
you have like a naggle, or have, like, you know, one of the shields that has a reflective damage.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a Thunder Fury, that would help a lot. But
so like as a paladin, you would put shields, spike on that shield, and then use consecration and blessing of sanctuary and retribution aura, and slowly kill
enough damage. Yeah, no, that's more than
it definitely is. Like, they don't have a lot of health. Here's the thing, right? And Melderon was doing it as an elemental shaman easy. Basically, you go in there, open up with a chain lightning, drop a magma totem or a fire blast totem, and, you know, just melee, and then, you know, get a proc or whatever of and hit him with a chain lightning, and, you know, Melderon was killing them just as easily as I was. But here's the thing: as a priest, you have to make sure you have enough mana, right? So I noticed that for me, around 6k to 6.2k mana was the sweet spot, where you had enough mana to kill the packs, right? But you also have to have enough bonus spell power and all to do enough damage. The main key for me as a priest is having that enough mana, right? You want at least 6k to 6.2k around there, unbuffed to be able to kill the lashers. If not, you're probably gonna have to do it. I went in there at like 55, 56 with PI, and you could do it with PI. However, you have to wait 3 minutes for every lasher pack, which is not that lucrative. So.
Makes sense. Also, people can level in there too. So if you're leveling a mage alt or something, once you get to like mid 50s, or even if you're leveling as a probably as a paladin alt, if you're leveling with Blessing of Sanctuary and all the reflect damage spec, you can level in there. That's something to keep in mind. Dire Maul is going to be huge, dude, guys. Like, so do whatever you need to do right now. You have 1 week to prepare for Dire Maul. You can be ahead of the curve here, ahead of the economy. Level alt if you need to. Just set yourself up for success with Dire Maul around the corner. But yeah, if we think of anything else, we can move on to it. Going back to state of the game again, Blizzard did officially confirm that Phase 2, because this Dire Maul stuff isn't Phase 2, right? Just to clarify, it's kind of a Phase 1.5. We're just getting Dire Maul, but we're not getting, the World Dragons. We're not getting Rank 14 PvP system.
Right.
Blizzard did confirm Phase 2 before 2020, right?
Okay.
So that's still like 2 months away, man. I mean, like they have like 2 months, 2 months till then. I'm pretty excited for Phase 2. I can't wait to commence the no-lifing, trying to rank here.
Oh my god, dude. Are you ready, Kargoz? Because I want to try to rank together, bro.
Are you? I'm hyped, dude.
Dude, I'm down, dude. I mean, Priest Warlock, and we can get like, maybe I'll go PI spec, dude. And we'll get like, we'll get Melderon in there to go Ellie and shit and just destroy everybody.
That would be sick. That would be sick. I'm very excited to rank, absolutely.
What's your aim? You aim to go to rank 14 or just 13 or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just set the bar at 14, man. You just try your best. I'm not saying it's a guarantee I'm going to get that or anything like that, right? But I'm just going to put my best foot forward.
I would like to get to 11.
Set the bar high.
If I get to rank 11.
Yeah.
Rank 11.
So would you have preferred it to launch in January, so it's not in the Christmas period?
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing I had, man. I was hoping it was gonna be after the Christmas holidays, because I'm gonna be freaking sitting at home with the family. We're gonna have,
figgy pudding,
the whole 9 yards, right? If you got a significant other, you got time off, man. It's gonna blow,
bro. Dunedain got me thinking right now. GG, bro. Now I'm gonna be like rank 4, bro. Like holidays coming. Dude,
that's what I'm saying.
I love Christmas, dude. I love Christmas, man.
Yeah.
Same. So I was a little disappointed on that note, but no, the phase of the game and it coming out before 2020. I guess I'm feeling all right. I hope that it kind of like we talked about earlier, hits a threshold where it slows down. And we still see like at least a 2 year lifespan of the game. And I think we will, but.
Of the server, not the game. They can restart the servers, right?
Sure. Of the server, yeah. I think everybody's just a little caught off guard with the announcement coming out on Dire Maul so early. But on the other note, dude, I want to see PvP. I want to see all these other things. But I default back to like looking at the majority of the player base. I really don't think they're ready. So I don't know. I think everybody's up in arms.
So here's the thing about
they will be ready. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. The thing about Phase 2 is that, and people have been saying this, for a couple months now. It's not news to most people, but Phase 2, introduction of the Rank 14 PvP system, but there's not going to be BGs, right? So what does that mean? It's going to be world PvP. It's killing as many people as possible with as few people as possible in your own raid. It's kind of a slash play check, and you just have to smash up against the freaking wall over and over again and just try and hang in there for as long as possible, and get to the bracket you desire. And that's going to be a huge slash play check, right? So, to speak on Dunedain and Gray's point, during the holiday season, a lot of us are going to be away, spending time with family, doing whatever. It's going to be very hard to rank at a high level.
So I want to say something on that. Contrary to the Dire Maul launch, which seems to be to please the high-level people right now, I feel like the PvP launch in the holiday period is more catered towards the casual people, because in the holiday period, the casual people might have holiday and they might have more time to play, and it doesn't really matter that they cannot play 24/7 to get rank 14, right?
True.
So for me personally, I feel like it's a good time to release Phase 2. But if I would like to go to rank 14, I couldn't skip on family parties and stuff. And
There you go.
Christmas, of
Yeah, who
course.
cares about family, you know?
Yeah.
When Classic WoW's out, dude.
True though. Yeah, no. Cannon made a point. Cannon made a point over on Twitch. He said, "Do you think this signals future deviations from the 6-phase plan? Example, Battlegrounds before Phase 3. You know, Dire Maul coming out before Phase 2.
Yeah.
I really haven't even thought about that, but I'm itching for Battlegrounds myself, and I think once Battlegrounds come out, they're gonna be able to slow down. They can extend like the Zul'Gurub release. I don't know. It's all speculation at the moment.
I know, man. Yeah.
I don't know.
What phase are you guys most excited for?
Oh.
Phase 3. Phase 3.
Why is that?
I don't know, man. I want to say Phase 3, but part of me wants to say like Phase 5.
Phase 5? So what is that?
I don't
AQ?
know. We'll see.
Phase 5 is
CG? No,
Wait.
Phase 5 is
No,
it's gotta
it's
be
AQ.
AQ, right? Yeah, AQ.
AQ, yeah.
Is AQ. You know, the reason why that'll be the first content that I've never done before.
Yeah.
So that I've never set foot into AQ40, right? I've done AQ20, I've done ZG, I've done AQ40 is for me gonna be new, and I'm really excited about that.
I think I agree with you. Yeah, I was the most excited for Phase 1.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. For me, it's Phase 3 because once Battlegrounds come out, and I've got that to fall back on. Phase 4, Phase 5, Phase 6, that's all going to be gravy, right? But one, you know, and it feels like a little bit of low on content just because I literally play like 15, 16 hours a day, and that's, you know, that's my own fault. But so once I hit that threshold, it's going to be gravy the next year and a half for me. So,
Dude, it's kind of crazy though, dude, that Dire Maul is about to come out in real classic. Like we're about to be done with Phase 1 relatively soon, man. That's
What the hell, dude?
what is happening with
feels
time?
weird,
dude?
man.
Okay, let me ask this to you guys because I can't remember, right? So we're about 1.5 months into Classic now, right? About 1.5 months, I think. When was it? 2 months after launch we had DM? Was it for original vanilla? I think it was about 2 months, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I think. But didn't EU players like launch with DM or something like that?
Right. So and I think they
Launch
were
with
2
DM.
months out. I
Yeah.
think so from original launch. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it was. 2 months. So honestly, it's not that far off. If you think about it like that, you know.
I think they are trying to do the same. As
Maybe
they
they're
did
trying to
with
emulate
Launch.
that. I don't know, but
That
I'm
would be
trying to
cool.
remember. Does anyone remember exactly like how? I think it was about 2 months. I mean, I could look it up honestly. Yeah. But I mean, I think that is a fair point to look at too, right? Maybe they're trying to. I think that would be awesome. I literally would love if Classic was out for as long as Vanilla was out. Like that would be perfect for me. I'd love that.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Same. But that would mean Nexramas would be kind of small phase.
That's true. No, yeah.
But that's
well,
good also. I mean,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I just didn't think about that. Yeah.
actually, it would be good
Oh,
if
no,
we
wait,
go
so-
to the Burning Crusade after. It's good that Nexramas is
Speaking
kind of
of that, dude,
Stomp said it was about 3.5 months or so.
some people were speculating that they're gonna announce TBC or Classic Plus at this year's BlizzCon. I don't know
Yo,
about that.
I
No,
think
yeah,
next year
okay.
though. That's pretty early.
Here's the thing with that. I was watching Frost live and he was talking about that. I am 100% in the camp that I do not think Classic Plus should even be a thing until we have TBC and Wrath first.
Mhm.
I
Yo,
think
I'm on the same page.
we need to have Classic, TBC, Wrath, then Classic Plus. We can start talking about Classic Plus when maybe towards the end of BC or the beginning of Wrath. That is, in my opinion, because honestly, they're going to be screwing themselves in multiple ways, right? Because they do Classic Plus and they want to do like Karazhan or something else. Like they have content out that is going to interfere with that. Not to mention, take your fucking time on it, dude. Like let's go through the older expansions first and then go into Classic Plus if they are even thinking about doing that, right? And what even is Classic Plus? I don't,
I'm in the same boat, bro. I'm in the same
100%
boat.
agree. But to come back on the short next phase, I think it would be good for the game in TBC if the next phase was shorter, because the gear is really good from next, and it actually trivialized a little bit of the early TBC gear. So if less people have tier 3, that would be good. But that's far from now, obviously.
yo,
Well,
servers
well-
are still down. What the hell?
What would you play in TBC when TBC comes out, if it comes out?
I want to say Blood Elf Paladin, but
I was about to say.
I will stay with Alliance. This
Paladin
time.
will be my alt. However, I definitely will have a prot / holy paladin alt, but my main will 100% be holy. Like priest in BC is not only my favorite in BC, but I think holy priest in BC, just priest in general in BC actually, is probably my favorite class and everything of all of WoW. Like holy was amazing, you know, fucking prayer of mending, circle of healing. Then you had discipline for PvP, shadow with vampiric touch, and you know, getting that mana back. For me, priests in the Burning Crusade were the best, the most fun I think I've ever had in playing WoW.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ever in WoW,
honestly.
more than Classic.
Yeah, I honestly, I love, like, Classic is I love Classic, but I think I honestly do like BC just a smidge more. Just
On the
a
class
smidge.
design, sure.
On the class design and the rating.
The rating, maybe. On the leveling, no. But on the class design, yeah.
Well, the leveling,
sure.
no, definitely not. So, but here's the thing, right? I only played about half of Classic or Vanilla. So I feel like I can't really make that judgment 100% because I didn't play all of Vanilla WoW, right? I only played about half, if that, of Vanilla WoW. I didn't get the full experience. I got the full experience of BC. I raided every single raid in BC. I was hardcore as shit. I had no life at that time. I heard the dishes.
You good? Someone just...
Yeah, that's fine.
Someone got taken out.
Someone said he no life in TV. Sure. Yeah, Arena was amazing. I absolutely. So I guess it's not that fair of a judgment, I guess, because like I said, I still am experiencing Classic, and even though Classic isn't vanilla, right? So I don't know. Maybe I can't make that judgment call yet, but the class design, man, and the raids, out of this fucking world, bro. Out of this fucking world.
Yo, so what do you think? I know it's kind of a quick aside, but what do you guys think in chat too? Let's get some speculations here. What do you think they will announce at this year's BlizzCon? You know, man.
I've heard Diablo 4. That's
Absolutely.
That's what everybody's been talking about.
What about
Classic
Diablo
WoW will be
Immortal?
minor.
The sleeper cell.
You haven't
Diablo
heard
Immortal.
about Diablo Immortal,
Dude? Did they just DOA that project? Whatever happened to that? Is it out? I don't know.
Maybe they announced it's deleted.
Dude, who's
No,
hyper
I mean,
Diablo
it could
Immortal?
be- They did the same thing with the Classic announcement though. They didn't talk about it for a year.
You guys want to become Diablo Immortal content creators, dude?
Let's do it, bro.
No.
Down.
The difference is for Classic WoW, everyone was waiting on news. Diablo Immortal, no one really cares about it.
Diablo 2 remake would be sick. Yeah, it'd be sick. I don't know though. I think I'm
Do
just
you
gonna be
think they
playing
will
WoW.
announce?
Classic Immortal? Oh, yikes. Porting
Last
Classic.
time they were saying things about a Diablo MMO, but is that totally off the table now with Classic WoW?
Okay. Actually, they're gonna announce a new retail expansion though. They have to, right?
What?
They have to.
Oh, right.
They have to. It's been enough time. Okay,
What
so
about
that
World of StarCraft?
really curious
World of
though.
StarCraft? No.
If they announce a new like a expansion to retail, right? Like in the past BFA. Really curious to see how that's gonna affect Classic, man. Very curious.
Oh, because they're talking about going back to level 60 and shit, right?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But what if they announce
Yeah,
it,
they-
right? Do you think after the announcement at BlizzCon, could that be a bad thing for Classic? What if they announce some new expansion? People are like, oh, I forgot about that game. Like, yeah, retail's kind of fun too. I'm gonna go back to retail. Hope not, bro. I hope they just stick with Classic.
Maybe
but
for
we'll
a
see
few
what happens.
months,
Yeah.
like it was the past few expansions. Everyone, or almost everyone, played every expansion for a month.
Yeah.
And quit.
Yeah.
So-
Honestly, I feel like if they do another expansion, they obviously will, right? It's gonna have to be something because BFA was tanked, right? Obviously, I remember saying like I was like, oh, dude, BFA is gonna be like another fucking Warlords of Draenor, and I really think it was, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't really play it that much, so I can't make that fucking judgment. But I feel like they're gonna have to try to do something really big with this next expansion if they do it. Having a more call, and I think Classic WoW has shown a lot of people that, you know, it has shown Blizzard what we actually want in gaming. So they might have a chance here to actually do something pretty decent with retail. Does it mean I'm going to play it? Probably not. But you know, they do possibly have a chance here to do something decent with retail.
Yeah, it's interesting,
It could be
and
worse. Who knows?
for years I've heard for the last 5, 6, 8 years people have said, you know, whenever I go to Best Buy, I go buy stuff, I tell them I'm playing WoW, they're like, dude, that game needs to die. Like people have been talking about that game just needs to end. Like when is the end of retail's time gonna come? You know, and I'm looking at Classic Classic came out, it's gonna be here for 2 years. TBC comes out for 2 years. Wrath of the Lich King comes out. We're looking at 6 years of content, and then rolling back to Classic Plus. Like we're literally sitting on 10 years of content. I know that sounds kind of crazy. Maybe people don't think the interest is gonna stick around for the trio.
I think as long as our generation is breathing, bro, there's always going to be a demand to play Classic.
That's what I'm saying. So we've got 10 years of this old school. Jeez, man, you can't recreate a game like this. You got 10 years to replay this content, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then I want to see a new game. I don't know, and that's the only reason I ever came back to retail over the years is because I always wanted to experience what I experienced originally. And so it's like there's no reason for me personally to go back to retail. So I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I have a serious question, yo, for everybody out there too in the world. Like this is heart to heart, man. I'm asking right now. Like, do you get? You know, a lot of us are a little bit older now. I'm 28, right? Like, do you get a little bit too settled in your own ideologies to like fall head over heels for a new game in the same way you did for OG Vanilla WoW at this point in life? Is that possible? A new game comes out and it's at that level again. I almost feel like too ate up.
Because classic popped the cherry for myself and everybody else. Like,
is it possible that same feel, like a new game could achieve that same level?
It would have to really be something really special. I mean, really special.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it'd have to be VR, and I've been talking about it too. Someone brought it up, but like VR world, if I was walking around, that would bring the game on a whole nother dimension. That's what Classic was whenever it came out for a lot of people. Now I know a lot of old heads that played, MMOs before Classic. It maybe wasn't the newest experience, but just the nature of whenever the game came out, it was just the internet was new. MMOs were new. It was the first time people had done this. A new MMO, I don't think is going to bring the same experience as the first MMO that I played.
think it might have to be something like that, Grace. It needs to shock you out of left field and not be something you're used to. Like it has to be some left field shit. Like WoW snuck up on me like it hit me out of nowhere and it was just over, dude. It was a wrap. It has to be that same thing. Someone has to just drop a pair of VR goggles on me and I'm just like looking around. And I'm in this world, and I'm walking around. I'm like looking at my hands, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on right now, dude?" Like,
I will get sick from VR though after a while.
Yeah. Dude, I kid you not. Yes, like literally yesterday was the first time I ever put a VR headset on, dude. I was playing the lightsaber game, and then I did like a shooting game at my buddy's house. And it broke me. Like it changed my world. Like it changed my reality. So, can you imagine playing an MMO like in a VR world? I don't know.
The only
It's not really.
The only game that will give me like the feeling that WoW did. Like I love I really love like sci-fi. Like if there was a game that was like WoW and you could like go to like different fucking planet, like basically what they were going to do with that one game that never came out. Forget the name of it.
I know what you mean.
It's like but like something like that, like almost like a World of StarCraft or something like that. I feel like it would have to be something on that level. Where
I don't think anything with a mouse and keybinds and global cooldowns. I think that's over, bro. Like I don't think anything can shock us in the same way. It would have to be like a new way to play the game, new UI, like fundamentally just different and strange and like it would have to be something like that for me, man. I think like. I don't know, like some kind of VR MMO might be sick though someday if that ever gets built out. I don't know. Do you think VR is dead too? I don't know. I feel like VR just like.
Nah, dude.
I think VR hasn't
been developed yet. It's the next big thing, man.
You think
if
so?
I was my character,
it
VR,
is.
Like,
Think so?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. They do it in the business world. They have virtual meetings. Like the next 20 years, it's gonna be VR.
You think so?
It feels a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's sleeping on it. It's just it hasn't been developed yet. I don't know. That's how I see it.
What was that movie that came out recently? Where it's like it was like a Steven Spielberg movie. Right? They're all in VR and shit. That was a really good movie. I forget, but something like that. I don't know if you guys saw that movie. Fuck, somebody in chat help me out.
VR movie?
It was like a movie with it was a fucking fucking Spielberg movie, right? Ready Player One, yeah, Ready Player One.
Oh, I saw that.
There we go.
I saw that.
Yeah. Some kind of game like that. Could you imagine, dude? Yeah.
So here's a fantasy, right? This is something I've thought about before. I've expressed it before. That someday in the distant future, when we have kids and stuff like that, how sick would it be if they really did like recreate? They took the same universe that we know and love, And instead of like recreating the wheel, they just built upon it. They enriched it further. They created more production value. They extrapolated on all the quests, and you did have like a new MMO set in the same stage of a classic WoW environment, vanilla WoW environment, all the same zones and stuff. But it is kind of VR. The graphics are, you know, timeless, but in a new way. Like they're updated, but also timeless. You know, like VR. Right. There's no keyboard and mouse. It's some new way of interacting, and maybe you have a VR headset and you're looking around and stuff. So that would be sick if it happened one day, man. Yeah. Like that would be. Imagine just walking around like Westfall with a fucking VR goggle on, and God. It's, you know, you look down at your feet, and you actually see like some fucking reeds coming up waist high, dude. And you're just walking through this.
And a fucking gnome just running through it, and you just like one-shot him.
Yeah. And you're in Duskwood, and you look up, and you see Stitches walking at you, looking like he's huge, like 20-foot-tall abomination. Someday, dude. If we ever become ballers, we gotta.
I'm down, bro. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I don't really see the whole VR thing. It feels a little bit antisocial, maybe. I don't know. You're literally in your own.
Antisocial, Dunedain. Come on.
I don't know, man. If you're at your PC, you can still see the people around you.
Yeah, well, at least like an MMO is more social, right? So an MMO on VR. Imagine that.
Ghostwriter in VR?
It's weird.
Oh, Grays, you want
there, bro.
You want some freaky shit, man. Would you be
damn druids?
Hey, man. Ain't call me gays for days for now.
Oh man.
Oh, I love it, Grays, dude.
Too much.
Guys, guys, you gotta go over to Grays Town right now. Give him a fucking sub and shit, man. He is one of a kind right here. He's a great dude. Yeah.
Yeah, we should start wrapping up too, man. It's been almost 2 hours now. So yo, Dunedain, the guild's going good. Everything's going good. What server is it again? Maybe you want to do a shout out to your community and everything?
Sure. We are playing Alliance on Mokrane. That's an EU PvP server. Since 2 weeks, we are doing our own guild runs in Molten Core and Onyxia. It's not official raiding yet, since I'm not there. I need to be there for it to be called official.
Right.
Yeah, but we do have more than 40 level 60s. We have, I think, almost 300 people now in the guild.
The Fellowship, right?
Yeah, the name is the Fellowship. I will link the Discord in the chat, both on Twitch and.
They're great guys. If you guys want to have fun with a good group of guys over on EU, that's where you head over to.
That's what's up. That's what's up. If you want to play with us, we're on the Scarum server. We have a guild called Invictus going. Pretty big guild. It's so fun building this community out, and many years of fun ahead. Dual tournament on Friday.
Yes.
That's gonna be
sick.
Can't
wait, bro.
Yep.
The Alliance Horde ratio on Mokrane is almost 50-50. Someone in chat is asking it, so that's pretty good if you are looking for a server like that. Also, we have very nice class leaders, I must say. We have Papa Moon, who's in chat a lot of the time.
Papa?
He's the main tank.
Papa's in the house.
Yeah, we have plenty of very nice and active people. So.
What about you, Grays, man? What do you got going on for content on the Horizon? A lot of people are sleeping on Grays for days, let me tell you right now.
Yes,
he's a great content creator. He's a really awesome, wholesome dude.
And he's an original thinker. He's got some original content, man.
I got a couple things. I'm thinking about taking a role in our raid progression, like doing a highlight every week. What pieces of gear our raid got. Just highlighting them. I'm thinking about doing a druid series, #JustDruidThings. I'm thinking about I got all these ideas. You know, I want to do. I'm big into 19 twinking, 29 twinking. I'm gonna be ganking level 30s pretty soon, and just doing some off the wall content. So all that's in the works, man. Honestly, I need to get off my butt and like limit my playtime. Playing too much classic.
You and me both, brother. You and me both, brother. We gotta make some more content, right? We gotta make some more content.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, but dude, we're lucky to have this community, man. I can't stress that enough. Being able to chill with you guys and do this, you know, the world's a big scary place, and we have a really solid community we're playing the game with. It's an honor and a privilege.
Yes, sir. And we got more than boss guys coming out on Defcamp Melderon TV. If you guys want to look at some Molten Core boss guys, we have 3 out so far. We're going to be doing all the bosses as well as Oni. It'll be a nice little run through of how to do all the bosses in MC and Oni. So there you go. And that'll be on CWO as well. Classic Wild Out Live.
Hell yeah.
Maybe for people watching this later who don't see the chat, the Discord link is pretty easy. It's just thefellowship.eu, and that will get you there. So,
Absolutely.
easy.
All right, fellas. Until next week, it's been a blast. We'll see you on GMA 31 in a few days now.
All
Good luck.
right.
Have fun out there.
Let's
Take
do
care.
it. See you guys. Keep on and
See you,
grinding.
man.
Peace.
Bye.